Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're looking for a beautifully written story that will also tear your heart out, maybe even stomp on it a little bit, then today's video is for you. We're diving into On Earth, We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. This novel takes the form of a letter that was never meant to be read. Addressed to the narrator's mother, it's an intimate account of growing up as a Vietnamese immigrant in the United States, raised by women who didn't speak the language and who still carry the trauma of war and colonialism experiences the narrator himself never directly faced. The speaker weaves together a tapestry of family history, spanning 3 generations. From his current life in Connecticut to the war-torn Vietnam of the 1960s, the letter is filled with raw poetry that paints a portrait of survival, memory, and identity. These vignettes bleed into one another, often juxtaposing moments decades apart and thousands of miles away, creating a hauntingly cohesive image of pain and resilience. It's a deeply personal, and at times devastating, exploration of themes like war, trauma, race, mental illness, sexuality, and addiction. The narrator tries to explain to his mother everything she never understood about him, but he writes it in English, a language she will never be able to read. I find this story to be incredibly powerful, beautifully written, yet heartbreaking. And while I'm excited to continue this journey, I'm also terrified of the tears you might shed along the way. These are some of the best moments and quotes that left a mark on me, and I can't wait to share them with you. For a while you said nothing, then started to hum the melody to Happy Birthday. It was not my birthday, but it was the only song you knew in English, and you kept going. And I listened, the phone pressed so hard to my ear that hours later, a pink rectangle was still imprinted on my cheek. I am 28 years old, 5 feet 4 in tall, 112 pounds. I am handsome at exactly 3 angles and deadly from everywhere else. I am writing you from inside a body that used to be yours. Which is to say, I am writing as a son. If we are lucky, the end of the sentence is where we might begin. If we are lucky, something is passed on, another alphabet written in the blood, sinew, and neuron. Ancestors charging their kin with the silent propulsion to fly south, to turn toward the place in the narrative no one was meant to outlast. The time at the nail salon, I overheard you consoling a customer over her recent loss. While you painted her nails, she spoke, between tears. I lost my baby, my little girl, Julie. I can't believe it. She was my strongest, my oldest, you nodded. Eyes sober behind your mask. It's okay, you said in English. Don't cry. Your Julie, you went on, how she dies. Cancer, the lady said. And in the backyard too. She died right there in the backyard, damn it. You put down her hand, took off your mask. Cancer. You leaned forward. My mom too. She dies from the cancer. The room went quiet. Your co-workers shifted in their seats. But what happened in backyard? Why she dies there? The woman wiped her eyes. That's where she lives. Julie's my horse. You nodded, put on your mask, and got back to painting her nails. After the woman left, you flung the mask across the room. A fucking horse? You said in Vietnamese. Holy shit, I was ready to go to her daughter's grave with flowers. For the rest of the day, while you worked on one hand or another, you'd look up and shout, it was a fucking horse. And we'd all laugh. The time at 13, when I finally said stop, your hand in the air, my cheekbone stinging from the first blow. Stop, Ma. Quit it. Please. I looked at you hard, the way I had learned, by then, to look into the eyes of my bullies. You turned away and saying nothing, put on your brown wool coat and walked to the store. I'm getting eggs, you said over your shoulder, as if nothing had happened. But we both knew you'd never hit me again. Monarchs that survived the migration passed this message down to their children. The memory of family members lost from the initial winter was woven into their genes. When does a war end? When can I say your name and have it mean only your name and not what you left behind? The time I woke into an ink blue hour, my head no, the house filled with soft music, my feet on cool hardwood. I walked to your room. Your bed was empty. Ma, I said, still as a cut flower over the music. It was Chopin, and it was coming from the closet. The door etched in reddish light, like the entrance to a place on fire. I sat outside it, listening to the overture, and underneath that, your steady breathing. I don't know how long I was there, but at one point, I went back to bed, pulled the covers to my chin until it stopped. Not the song, but my shaking. Ma, I said again, to no one, come back. Come back out. You once told me that the human eye is God's loneliest creation. How so much of the world passes through the pupil, and still it holds nothing. The eye, alone in its socket, doesn't even know there's another one, just like it, an inch away, just as hungry, as empty. Opening the front door to the first snowfall of my life, you whispered, look. And the quotes go, what is it you want me to say? That I am not your son? That I never was? You will never know how much you can lose until you have lost everything. I have tried to find the words for everything, but there are no words for what is lost. I am a son who loves his mother, who does not love him back in the way he needs. To be loved, but I will keep loving you for the both of us. You are a war in a body. You are a country on fire. You are a fist, clenched tight and unswerving. I have written you a letter in a language you cannot read, just to tell you that I love you and that I'm sorry. I carry what you gave me. I carry all of it. I carry the weight of your history. We are all the things we lost, and we are all the things we've yet to find. They say nothing lasts forever, but they're just scared it will last longer than they can love it. I miss you more than I remember you. Because in Vietnamese, the word for missing someone and remembering them is the same, nh. You can't remember without being haunted by some absence. And that wraps up today's deep dive into On Earth, We're Briefly Gorgeous. I hope this gave you a glimpse into the raw, poetic beauty and emotional intensity of this story. It's a book that doesn't just ask to be read, it demands to be felt, line by line, word by word. Whether you're here because you're curious about its reputation, or you're still working up the courage to dive into it yourself, I hope this video brought you a little closer to its world. If you enjoyed this journey or felt inspired, make sure to hit the like button. It lets me know you'd love more content like this. And don't forget to subscribe if you're ready for more explorations into the literary worlds that shape us. Until next time, keep reading, keep feeling, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.